Hello, and here we are, my 103rd weekly video, living with Alzheimer's. Wow, what a week last week. Yeah, it was pretty much full on. Thank you so much for all your support, online and actually people coming out to see us around our challenge. It was it was a very special thing for me to do last week, and I sort of tried to get as many people involved as possible, and the support was absolutely fantastic. I'm not quite sure how much money we've raised yet, and in the next few weeks or so we shall have an idea, but I know the online Virgin Money thing is still open for some time, but fantastic. You know, whilst cycling around last week, I got thinking, and I come to realise that even though there was a few people who cycled with me for the whole of the distance, for the whole of the challenge, and other people joined us, their challenge, if you like, was so much different to my challenge. They cycled round, they had a good time, and they have memories of doing that. As I speak to you today, the memories of my cycle challenge have diminished quite a lot. I can remember the last day, 2 days maybe, and after that it's virtually gone. I remember I had a good time. I remember I enjoyed the whole thing, but the memories have gone. The photographs that we took, and we will make an album out of those, then that will be brilliant, and that will promote memories. But people who cycled with me will be able to reflect on the challenge, and I, alas, cannot. But that's just dementia, and that's how it is. And while I was cycling, I got to think about dementia and what it actually is, and how I try and let people into my life, our lives, with this condition. And I know that not many of you have ridden a Pennyfarthing, but most of you have ridden a bicycle. And do you know, going down a hill on a Pennyfarthing, there are no brakes, and it is a fixed geared wheel, so the pedals constantly turn. It's very similar to living with this condition. If I kick off the pedals and let the wheels spin, I have no control, and you feel as though you have no control over anything. If you continue to keep onto the pedals and backpedal to try and use them as a brake, you have limited control over your environment, but you know that it's only limited, and you know that the further you get down that hill, the harder the work will be. And then when you get to the bottom, you level out and you're pedalling away, and life becomes a bit more easier. And that's very much like the challenge was for me. It was a whole week of backpedaling, a whole week of trying to keep some sort of control over the new environment I was in, the overnight stays, and that sort of thing. And it was a very difficult situation. So my challenge was so different from the people around me. Not because the cycling was harder work, but because it was harder work. And it was harder work, full stop, really, at the end of the day. But in saying that, like I said, I enjoyed it. And and you know, I was going to say something else, and I had something written down, and actually I did make some little notes here today. And as I've been talking to you and trying to keep some sort of flow going, what I'm reading here has absolutely no sense at all. So, but you know, one of the other things also I want to say, actually, now that something has just sprung into my head, is that I did this challenge a year on from the other challenge, and sometimes setting goals is a very, very good thing. It's a wonderful thing to set these goals and to continue to move forward. But it also gives you a sense of direction, and that can be a negative sense of direction sometimes, because I know that my abilities this time last year are so different to now. The management that I put into last year's challenge was pretty good. I was pretty much on it to a point. The management this time has been, from me, my input has been virtually nil. And that's all I've done is cycled. And that's sort of been it. So I know that there's a stark change in the way that my mind is working. But also that stark change is not just for me, that's for the people around me. And those that cycled with me, different people at different times. Mark, bless him, was with me most of the route, gave Debs a bit of a break. But other people were saying things like, you know, have you had a drink? You need to eat, because these are the things that I don't do when I'm out. So it's also hard work for them, trying to maintain this level, because they have this sense of responsibility about me. If I collapse in a heap on the side of the road, it's their fault, because they haven't said to me, drink, they haven't said to me, eat, they haven't said to me, do you need to rest, and those sort of things. So yeah, the responsibility does definitely echo out, but I couldn't have done it without all of their support. And it's not just me that's raised awareness and raised money, everybody has done that as well. Well, I think I've rumbled on for enough now, because I'm starting to lose the thread, and I know that after 6-7 minutes of talking, my mind starts to wander on different things. So I'll say goodbye now. Have a great weekend. Have a wonderful week. And yeah, Peddling Pete will be back here next week. And oh yeah, by the way, I left my Dementia monster all week. He was not happy, but I was. Bye bye.